A workmanlike win, if you will. Maybe in some respects an ugly win, but when you win by 18 at home and you got a little bit of a sense of disappointment, or we didn't play as well as we're capable of playing, I think that's a sign of progress to some degree. But that's kind of where we're at because we know we have to be better than we were tonight to be the kind of team we want to be this year. And turnovers are a good example of that. Free throw shooting is a good example of that. Little things that separate programs that are great or elite and programs that are good and solid. And right now I think we're good and solid, but we're certainly not elite, and we're not where we want to be. But, we'll take the win against a good San Diego team who's beaten us 2 years in a row. They got great toughness, and I got a lot of respect for their coach and their program. And so we'll take it, and we'll move on, and we got to move on quickly because I'll talk about it a little later, but the game Monday night is going to be a battle.
Coach, biggest difference in the second half, it seemed like your defense was solid in the first half. Well, how did you get your offense going in the second half?
Well, number one, we kept getting stops, and our defensive intensity didn't come and go. And the second half, we kept getting stops, and we allowed that to get us in transition. We got to the foul line. We attacked the basket in transition. I think we got to the 1-on-1 with 14 minutes to go in the half. And as we said, we want to play. One of the offensive keys for Colorado tonight was we got to play inside. We got to attack the rim, whether it's through our bigs or whether it's driving the ball. And understand that you may not get all the way to the rim because San Diego is a good defensive team. They're going to take charges like they did. They're going to be in the gaps like they were. But driving it and making that extra pass is how we're going to have to play. And we did that more in the second half than the first half. I thought in the first half, our motion offense was atrocious. We stood around. We didn't cut. We didn't move the ball. We switched to a kind of a ball screen continuity offense about 4 minutes to go in the first half, and we stuck with it in the second half. We knew they were going to press after free throws. We wanted to attack their press. We didn't attack their press in the first half. We turned it over against their press. You can't do that. You got to make teams pay for pressing you in your own building. We didn't do that in the first half. In the second half, did a better job of that. The play I remember is we kicked it ahead to Eli, and he drove it and bounced past to Tyler, and Tyler got it in the lane and kicked it to McKinley, and McKinley swung it to Lucas for a wide open three, and that's how you got to play against that press. You got to move the ball and share the ball, and we did a better job of that in the second half, and the numbers obviously show that.
You talk about quality depth a lot and the advantage that it gives this team. Look at Lucas tonight coming off the bench, 21 minutes, double-digit points, a couple big-time threes. I mean, is that pretty textbook of what you're hoping for, guys?
Yeah, and it doesn't matter if you're starting or coming off the bench. It really doesn't. What I want our players to understand is this team has a lot of weapons. It's going to be different guys every night. Know who you are and what you do well. Don't try to do things you can't do. Lucas is a good example of that. I thought he really played within himself tonight, and he didn't force the issue. Had a turnover there late that was silly. We got to get rid of those. But know who you are. I told our players, look, it's really simple in terms of what I expect from every player on our team. And I don't care if you're starting or if you're coming off the bench. It makes no difference to me. But defensively, you got to play your tail off and rebound the basketball on defense. And offensively, take care of the ball and take great shots. It's as simple as that. If we have every buff do those two things on each side of the ball, this can be a great year. But when we start worrying, I haven't gotten my shots, or I got to force this one up, and haven't casted one up in a while, or we can't think like that. We got to think about making each other better. And when we do that, we're pretty good.
In that 18-0 run, I think I counted 10 straight empty possessions on San Diego's end. Was that the defensive intensity that you didn't see the first half, or what was the difference between that run and?
I thought it was a combination of things, Neil. I thought, number one, San Diego expended a lot of energy in that first half. We had the pace of the game going the way we wanted it to go. Now, we weren't playing like we wanted to play. We were turning it over. We weren't making shots. We were taking some tough shots. but the pace of the game was good because one of the offensive keys was to get the ball inside. The second offensive key was get the game in transition. And the only way you get the game in transition is to get stops on defense so you can allow yourself to run and attack the basket. Because it's we got a lot of athletes on this team. We got a lot of depth and quality depth, and I think we got to wear teams down, especially in this building at home. And so I think that run was a combination of San Diego maybe being a little tired. They played 7.5 guys against Weber the other night. They played 9 tonight for sure, and they had some guys playing that weren't on a scouting report. So, but I thought our intensity picked up defensively for the most part.
Small sample size, just a couple games in, but when you start to see Tyler beginning to take more and more three-pointer shots, I mean, when you're watching him take those shots, is it something that you think he's starting to gain a comfortability with every shot he takes?
Look, I talked to Tyler about that after the Arizona State game, and the one thing I told Tyler is you cannot hunt your threes. Your threes are going to come. They're going to come out of the flow. And that tonight, his threes came out of the flow. And he made 2 or 3. And we'll take that every night, So don't hunt them. And I see numbers in practice. I've seen how he shot the ball from 3 in practice, first 30 practices or so that we've had. His numbers are pretty good. He's shooting 41% from 3 in practice. But again, don't hunt them. Let them come. And know that your strength is at the rim, rolling, finishing at the rim, getting to the free throw line. But the threes will come. You don't have to hunt them. And I thought he did a really good job of that tonight.
Is there a Deshaun Schwartz switch that you just flip and he scores 11 points in 9 minutes? But he's done that twice in a row now.
Yeah, I don't know. Deshaun was. I don't know if he wasn't mentally ready. He wasn't himself in that first half. I thought, you mentioned the first 2 games, small sample size. I look at our turnovers. I look at our free throw shooting offensively. Has to get better. To a man, as a team, and but I thought Deshaun kind of got himself out of that funk. And that's what you have to do. You have to play yourself out of the funk. As a coach, sometimes you can only control so much. I control who plays and how much they play. Mike Rohn does a great job on the bench. He's got probably the most difficult job of anybody. So he's kind of in charge of substitutions, and sometimes I can throw him off by putting guys in and vetoing, and I've got to be careful not to do that too much because he does a great job. I got a lot of trust in him, and players better know that they better be on Coach Rohn's good side.
Speaking of funks, Dalen Koontz has been in a little bit of a funk these first 2 games. How do you get him going?
He's got to get himself out of it. Again, my thing with Dalen, and I'm going to talk with him tomorrow, but it's just what I just talked about. Defend and rebound. Take care of the ball and take great shots. It's as simple as that. If you do those things, Dalen, you're going to be fine. When you try to do too much and you try to force the issue, good things don't happen. Just play the game the way you're capable of playing the game, and but that's the mental part that players have to kind of get through, and he's going to have to get through it. But I got confidence in Dalen. Dalen's a good player. I know that. I got confidence in all our guys. I got a lot of confidence in Alex Strading. I got a lot of confidence in Frank Ryder. I really do. So I sure as heck, if I got confidence in them and they're not in the rotation and not playing, I got confidence in Dalen Koontz and Eli Parquet and Maddox Daniels and Shane Gatling and the whole crew. So it's going to be a different guy every night. And some nights when you're not playing well, you're not going to play as much. And you got to understand that and accept that. If you can't, we're going to have issues. But that's going to be a common theme with this team as the year goes on. Quick turnaround. And I'm telling you what, guys, the game Monday night is going to be a battle extraordinaire. We are playing a well-coached, well-disciplined, tough team that last year won 31 games, won an NCAA tournament game. They've got 3 starters back off that team. One of their best players comes off the bench. He doesn't even start. We've got our hands full on Monday night. And our fans need to understand, and our players, I promise you our players will, because we talked about it after the game, and we're going to talk about it tomorrow in practice. We had better be ready to battle on Monday night because it is going to be a knockdown, drag-out, I promise you. and we got to be ready to go. We have to play 2 halves of basketball, which we haven't done at Arizona State in Shanghai. We didn't do it tonight. We got to put 2 halves together and play with great toughness on Monday, because it's going to be a battle. Thanks.